Let's talk about some astounding bootlegs I've seen during my time in Colombia. Hi all, I'm Ezrado and you're watching my travel channel where I talk all things Colombia. So at the beginning of this year, you may have heard about how the first ever Mickey Mouse short, Steamboat Willie, entered into the public domain. There was a lot of noise about it all over the internet, with people excited that they could now finally use an iteration of Mickey Mouse in their own commercial projects without facing legal issues. As strange as it may feel though, seeing a character as iconic as Mickey being used in unofficial contexts, this whole concept isn't foreign at all to Colombia, nor to many other second and third world countries for that matter. See, one of the first things that struck my attention upon visiting Colombia for the first time was the amount of unofficial uses of intellectual property everywhere I went. I'll get into the examples in a moment, but in short, there are so many unlicensed IP uses across the country that I thought it'd be fun to make a video about some of the most amusing of them that I've seen. Specifically, I picked 5 of the most astounding knockoffs that I've come across, but before I begin, I just wanted to make a quick preface. See, a lot of the bootlegs and knockoffs you see in Colombia tend to come from smaller businesses, or at least are sold or used by smaller businesses. Simply put, selling products with recognizable icons can really help these businesses make ends meet, and in certain industries where brand recognition is everything, it's arguably a necessity. As a second world country though, many of these businesses don't have the money to import official products or get an official license for anything, and so bootlegging is often their only option if they want to succeed. With that in mind, I just want to make it clear that although I don't endorse illegally reproducing IP in any way, I am still sympathetic to these people, and so this video is in no way meant to mock them or look down on them. I just thought it'd be entertaining and to look at some of the creative things they've done with various icons and characters. Alright, so I'm going to start with the least absurd, relatively speaking, and peel to the most absurd, and the first one I got for you is this figurine of Luigi playing the saxophone. I thought this would be a good one to show, as figurines are often one of the most bootleg products in existence in Colombia, and honestly, most of them do look pretty official, not gonna lie. With this one, for instance, if it wasn't for the fact that he can't stand up and that there's no Nintendo copyright imprint anywhere, this could almost be passed off as a licensed product. Then again, I do have to wonder about the saxophone. Like, I know Mario and Luigi have appeared in a lot of different contexts across their games, but I am struggling to recall even a single moment where Luigi whips out a saxophone. Truly, I'd love to know exactly what was going through the head of the person who made this. I don't know, maybe they were a saxophonist or just a saxophone enthusiast who happened to have a job making figurines and wanted to put their love of saxophones into their work. Whatever the case, this was one figurine I had to buy as soon as I saw it. Not only is this seemingly arbitrary choice of accessory kind of hilarious, but I think it really sums up the essence of a lot of these knockoff products in terms of that off-brand creative liberties often taken. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of unofficial products in Colombia that adhere more closely to the official brand's creative guidelines, but you'll also frequently come across these less conventional designs. In Australia, you'll virtually never find this kind of thing, as all the products in shops here are generally licensed. Seeing so many off-brand things like this in Colombia, therefore, was definitely pretty amusing to me. Of course, we're only getting started though, and it just gets crazier from here. For my next pick, I got a double bill for you, as I wanted to talk about these 2 restaurants I've been to. The first one's a fast food chain called Mario Bros. Not Mario Bros, Mario Bros. See, it's a common misconception, but these are 2 totally unrelated things. Yes, those are official renders from Nintendo printed onto the storefront and tables, but guys, you're missing the point. It's Mario Bros. In all seriousness, I did actually ask 2 former Nintendo employees if there'd be any kind of legal loophole for this, and this is what they had to say on their podcast.
I don't think there's a legal loophole.
They're just doing it.
I think they're just doing it because they have no, they don't care about the consequence, because they probably know the risk is pretty low. Yeah. And obviously, Nintendo cannot police every country.
Worldwide.
Yeah, they would love to. I'm sure they would. They would
get
want
a kick
to.
Out of that.
They would love that, but they cannot, because they're only this
There's only
team,
so many.
So many of them. The other thing that I have noticed that is more, they have a little bit more leniency towards is like, this example that you give is like this restaurant has like Mario decoration inside of it. I think they're less concerned about that and more concerned if you're like reproducing stuff and selling it. Oh. If it's like
that's getting out into the world.
Yeah. Like if you're just locally in Colombia and you go to this food court and you see this thing, like it's not as bad as if like you're, reproducing a game called Super or Mario Bros with 2 S's and then selling it across the world. But
Yeah.
that's my.
Yeah, there is no liberal copyright law. There
No.
is no loophole, in my expert legal opinion. They're just doing it
Yeah.
and challenging them.
Have you eaten at this
We dare you to take us down.
delicious?
Come to Colombia.
Tell
and
us
deal with
about this restaurant.
Yeah, I
though.
want to know about the
What
food.
is the food? Like, what
are
are
they
you
serving?
eating? This is interesting.
So yeah, it would seem that this is a low risk, high reward kind of situation, and the same is probably true for the other restaurant I wanted to bring up, Chrono's Fantasy. I've talked about this a lot in previous videos, but this whole restaurant is basically themed around video games. That on its own could be fine, but I'm not quite as confident on the legalities of plastering the entire place with video game posters, statues, and naming all the menu items after various IP, but who knows. I guess it's a little less blatant than Mario Bros since it's not aimed at a single property. If one of the IP owners wanted to take legal action though, I'm sure they could probably still pin them on something, but once again, that's probably not going to happen. Next up though, I got another video game icon who's been given the off-brand treatment. We had Luigi with the saxophone before, and now we have Evil Sonic. Yes, this is a plush toy of Sonic the Hedgehog, only he's got red and black eyes which are bleeding. Once again, very unofficial. Obviously, Sega would never license a product like this of Sonic since he's, meant to be family friendly and all. What I find kind of interesting though is that this depiction of Sonic is actually based on a creepypasta called Sonic.exe, which is honestly quite a deep cut reference. I mean, it is one of the more famous creepypastas and there are plenty of nerds like me who know about it, but it's far from a household name. Come to think of it, given that this isn't exactly a pop culture channel, I'm sure a lot of you watching don't even know what a creepypasta is, and hey, no shame in that. If anything, it means you actually have a life. For those who want to know though, they're essentially fictional urban horror stories shared by random people online. Sonic.exe is just one of these stories. It's obviously not official in any way, it's just written by a random internet user who goes by the name JC the Hyena. Apparently it's grown in popularity in recent times and branched out into a bunch of other media, but still, to see it right outside a supermarket in Colombia like this, it's kind of crazy. It's just weird to me that some random person on the internet can write a Sonic fanfiction, and then years later you see its titular character being sold as a bootleg plush toy in Colombia. Like, if that's not indicative of the modern information age, I don't know what is. Also notice the bootleg Bendy here, which again, has its following, but certainly not a household name. You know what is a household name though? Disney's Encanto, which is the subject of my next pick. You probably already know, but Encanto is an animated film by Disney that's all about Colombia. As you'd imagine, it became an immediate hit in Colombia, and as such, you'll see it depicted all over the country. Easily my favourite representation of it I've seen so far though is this musical from the University of Medellin. As you can see, they've retitled it Mágica, and just like with the Mario restaurant, I find this pretty funny. It's like, yeah, breaching copyright up the wazoo, no problem, but breaching a trademark? In all seriousness though, I do have big regrets over not seeing this. I mean, who knows if Disney will ever turn the film into a stage musical, like, this may have been my only chance to see one. Not to mention that as far as bootlegs go, I'd imagine this one was pretty authentic to the source material, being from a Colombian university and all. Not like they have to do a lot of cultural research or anything, but although I'd missed what was probably a great knockoff musical, there's still plenty of Disney to go around, including my final pick for this list, which is the granddaddy of them all. Without a doubt, this one takes bootlegging to another level, beyond anything I'd imagine. Basically, you know how Disney has their own line of cruise ships in a bunch of countries around the world? They seem pretty popular, like I saw one on the horizon from my house the other day. They even got one that stops in Cartagena, but we're not here to talk about that one today. Oh no, we're here to talk about the one in the small town of Guatapé. That's right, these are bootleg Disney cruises. Now, admittedly, I don't know exactly what these entail. Like, I know the official ones have a lot of live Disney-themed entertainment, along with some pools and a water park and some restaurants. From what I can gather from these ones, though, not 100% sure about the water slides, not gonna lie, but otherwise solid effort. Jokes aside, it's a little unfair to call these bootleg Disney cruise ships. Obviously, they're just doing some boat tours on the Peñol Reservoir and decided to give it a bit of a Disney theme, which honestly still looks like a bit of fun. I don't know exactly what makes them Disney themed, like maybe they play Disney music on it and, it does say restaurant on it, so maybe the food they serve is somehow Disney themed. I mean, hey, if they wanted to have someone dressed as Mickey Mouse from Steamboat Willie driving the thing, well, they could do that now and it would be completely legal. Man, that's actually a solid idea. Well, there you go, Magic Disney Cruise, you can have that one for free. Speaking of Steamboat Willie, we've come full circle now, so I'm going to close this one out here. Those were 5 bootlegs I've seen in Colombia that gave me a bit of a chuckle, and so I hope you've been entertained or somewhat amused by them as well. That's all I got for you today though, so if you enjoyed this, feel free to like, subscribe, bell, and if you have any video suggestions you'd like to see from me, you can leave those in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching all this way, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!